because while this has always had a hand or a say in the destiny of the Premier League title, this time Liverpool are sitting pretty at the top of the table. Manchester City have had a very difficult season by their standards, but will that do anything to dampen the intensity on Sunday?
Oh, I think it'll be an incredible game. You know, City will be hurting from midweek. I'd imagine there'll be a feeling from some of the players of that hurt, but also a little bit of embarrassment potentially. And, you know, a lot of people have expected them to go much further than they did in the Champions League. Tough to play Real Madrid, but so early. This is two teams who I think, you know, it's just going to be great players, great matchups. It's one that I think we're all looking forward to watching.
Yeah, reigning champions against champions-elect, league leaders. Well, let's hear from the two managers, starting with Pep Guardiola, who was asked about leaving Kevin De Bruyne on the bench for the midweek defeat at Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's my decision. Normally I don't speak not for Kevin. You know, the relation with Kevin is exceptional. So, and never ever is personal, never ever is I'm upset, never ever. Also, Jeremy didn't play. And the last game played, I think, was in Ipswich Town, plays unbelievable, the game, you know, and after the 70 minutes was injured. But maybe for the demanding, for the way now we need to play, because for the absence of strength that we have and physicality and many things, we need the games for more control or more not up and down. Don't tell me why. So it's not personal, I decided decisions and that's all.
I think the biggest question to be asked is from Man City, because we face a strong team again, like we faced Villa. So Arsenal plays before us, but we know that doesn't make the game easier or more difficult that we have against City. We know we have 12 games to play, and Arsenal has 13 games to play. And if we constantly look at Arsenal or what other teams are doing, that would not help us. He was too disappointed after him missing that chance, and maybe we will never know, we will never find out. That's why he was just a fraction short the moment afterwards. I always truly believe that it's always the best to have Wata's mindset, and what I mean with that is that for the whole season he doesn't complain, keeps on going, and wherever we need him he's ready. And that is very difficult. There are not many players that can do this. So yeah. It's not about the chance for me, it's more about the 20 minutes afterwards where I want to talk to him about than about him missing a chance.
It was a big chance, though, to be fair, an opportunity to win it at Villa Park. Darwin Nunez with literally his first touch of the game, and he had that opportunity set up by Szoboszlai.
Yeah, I was at the game, and there was, to be honest, nobody could believe it, really, because as the ball gets squared, you know, really selfish from Szoboszlai, you just expect him to side foot it in, and I don't quite know how he's managed to quite miss the target from there.
Yeah. I wish we had shown Jermaine's facial reaction there. You're horrified, man.
Yeah, sleepless nights. I wouldn't sleep.
You just assume it's a goal.
Yeah, because obviously it's so important, and key moments in games, you want your forward players to step up, and when you're at the top of the league, you're going to feel like probably embarrassed, to be honest, because it's an open goal. And all you've got to do is sort of like just direct it towards goal, and it's sort of like it's a bad miss. But he keeps going. You know, he keeps going. Obviously, I know the manager spoke about the reaction, but a lot of times we've seen these missed chances and that, but he keeps making the runs, he keeps getting the opportunities.
Yeah, we were talking after the game about the door it was closed before. Liverpool could have had a double digits lead at that point, could be 10, it's 8. But I know that Danny Murphy and Tim Sherwood said in the post-match the door is slightly open now. Danny Murphy said he could feel a little bit of a breeze. What do you think that does for the title race, especially, as Slot mentioned, he doesn't really want to be looking at Arsenal, but they could be a little bit closer by the time Liverpool do kick off at City. Yeah,
you're right. I think for Liverpool, though, it's a little bit of a vulnerable place to be in, but it's a nice vulnerability if such a thing exists, in that there's not as much pressure on them in this game against City, in the sense of City really need to win it in order to claw some of that gap back, and not just in the sense trying to catch the teams above. You know, there's teams right behind them looking to try and see if they can get into that top four. So I feel there's more onus on City to go out and find a way to win, but Liverpool are in that place of you don't want to go into the game with that comfort of there's no pressure on us. Slot will want his players to be right up for it, which no doubt there will be. He'll want them to get at City. He'll want them to play their way, and you know, they've had incredible joy this season. I think the season they've had, not many people fully expected it to be as good so early. He'll want to make sure they don't take their foot off the gas in any way.
Yeah, and you're talking about his players having been incredible, none more so than Mo Salah, who's in the form of his life. And we caught up with the Egyptian king this week.
And Salah! The space for Salah. Mo Salah! Classy finish from the Egyptian. Mo Salah must be! It's Salah! Mohamed Salah. Again and again and again. The incomparable and probably irreplaceable Mohamed Salah.
I didn't expect it to be that easy, that quick. Sorry, not easy. But it's also the manager now didn't change that much to us. Like he liked to do counter pressing, still play counter attack, but he liked to control the ball more and keep the ball with us. So it's slightly different, but I don't see that big difference. he's direct to the point, tough. Honest, that's good, to be fair. It's make our life easy, so when he wants to tell you something, he makes sure that he tells you in your face. Sometimes it's hard. I said that before, but because as a player, you need also to understand that our emotions is going up and down. So as a manager, to tell us straight in the face is sometimes hard, but yeah, it's part of his job. And to be fair, he's doing it very good. City will be always City. They have one of the greatest managers ever, and they have great players. They play for top level for many years. They won everything in the club, so they always gonna be strong side, and they always can win the game anytime. So I see the game is gonna be very tough. They have advantage that they play home, and they have experienced players also. So we just need to stay calm and give it a try.
Now that game on Sunday may be your last game against Manchester City. Is it a little bit more special for you because of that?
To be fair, I don't know. I just feel like that my whole focus now is to win the Premier League. I just feel like, okay, I want to win the Premier League. It doesn't matter last game or not last game, so we'll see.
24 Premier League goals for Mo Salah. Can you explain how difficult it is to be so consistently good in this league and then somehow do what he's done this season, take it up a notch?
It's amazing. I mean, I can sit here for hours talking about Mo Salah. I've always loved watching him. Just everything about him, you know, on and off the pitch, so professional, family man, just relentless. Like he wants to break all the records. He's getting older, but it seems to be getting stronger, quicker. You know, so good in front of goal. But the numbers are just, I mean, the numbers speak for itself. You know, you see some of his goals, a lot of goals, it makes it look so easy. He scores all sorts of goals. And there's even times where, I can't remember what game it was, where like he's not in the game, and then he would just get one chance, and the concentration levels to finish it off, you know, it just deserves so much credit.
Rachel?
He's got such an eye for goal, and on top of that, his physical attributes just make him so incredibly dangerous. I mean, some of the goals he scored here, that the angles he chooses to shoot from, you're thinking, why have he shot from there? And he finds back the net.
But this is the one I was talking about. It was quiet throughout the whole game, and it's a tap-in, but when you watch the goal back, it's the first touch. Like, if you're any young player and you're not in a game, sometimes it's so difficult to have those sort of concentration levels, the touch and the no backlift and just the finish to win the game. It was just, it's amazing. He's an amazing footballer.
Well, speaking of amazing Egyptian footballers, there's one on the other side now for Manchester City. Omar Mamouche scored a hat-trick against Newcastle last time out. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive. And I think that was a result that probably obviously the game midweek, but I think in terms of the league, I think it's an important result for City, because they're playing a Newcastle team in good form who are difficult to play against. And I think to come away from this game 4-0 will do them the world of good. Again, that's a really nice finish. Not easy to sort of receive that under pressure, body's in the way, gets a shot off. And I think for any player, you score a hat-trick in the Premier League, that's one of the better moments in your career, I'm sure. So they probably needed one of those types of performances. It's been a rocky period for them, and somebody different stepping up, I think, is also something that's good for them as a collective group.
You have to be happy for him, because when you come to a new club, like you come with like a big reputation. You want to get off to a good start, but then to score a hat-trick at home against a good team and some good goals there, yeah, you have to be happy for him. But he's so sharp, and when you watch him play, you think, sooner or later, you go on to score so many goals in that because he's so sharp. He gets his shots off. He's willing to run in behind, and that's where he gets his chances. Like the first goal that we saw, and is a fantastic finish in that. But top player.
Actually, you mentioned the Real Madrid game a few times. Just what kind of space does that put City into? How much are they looking to react now against Liverpool, and how do Liverpool approach this one?
Yeah, it's a tough one for City. Probably the only good thing is the fact that it was a midweek game and they've already got, they've got less time. You've not got to wait a full week. You've got less time to be like, well, we get to go back out there and we get to at least try. And you can't change that performance, you can't change out that competition, but you do get a chance to make your last memory for the fans the next game. And it's important that it's a good game to be able to give a reaction, to get a performance, to get a result. So they're going to need to have everybody on the same page, have everyone together. They're going to need everyone. They're going to have to be defensively very organised. They're very good at home. So I think they have an opportunity that's one they'll want. From a Liverpool perspective, I think they'll just continue as they have. They don't really typically change for many teams. They'll adapt tiny things, but they have their way, and so far it's been very effective for them.
You said City are very good at home. They've been very good at home against Liverpool. Liverpool have just won in 15 Premier League games at the Etihad. That was back in 2015. Is now the time to add the second?
Well, they want to surprise us with how they're playing. With obviously the important players playing so well this season. So you spoke about Mo Salah. I'd be looking forward to this game. And I'm sure the Liverpool players, they would have looked at the Madrid game and thought, they're wounded. City are wounded, and sometimes for City, sometimes that next game, when you lose like that, the next game, if it's a big game, that's what you want really. And you mentioned about not having a long week, and it's almost like, right, that game's finished and that prepare and then look forward to the next game. It's a massive game. It's almost, you have to bring your best. You have to bring the best version of yourself. But a game of that magnitude, when you're getting the best version of every player, you just never know what can happen.